And then
Yeah.
in the promotional materials, it says business check.
Yeah.
So could you clarify
The
exactly
business
what
check, okay,
is?
so the vision for the business check is that any type of background check. I mean, it could be, I mean, it runs the gamut from cheap to super expensive. You know, it's almost like a business within a business. You know, the background check could be just a basic one that anybody can get. Oh yeah, this person hasn't got any bankruptcies. They're not, you know, they have no bad credit. You know, that kind of stuff. They're not out to screw me. But you know, on the upper end, it could be something that's like the diamond contractor, where you know it's extremely hard to get this background check, business check. But once you get it, then people can search it and you can like it. You know, like merit badges on a Boy Scout, you know, kind of like thing. And so it's wide open. The platform is available for that type of growth.
And if you could contrast that to your top competitors, are they also doing background checks on providers?
That's a great question. The Home Advisor and those, you must have a background check in order to be in their system.
Okay.
So, and no, Angie's List is not, because they're doing customer reviews, theoretically. And I know that they've changed their model. They changed to just, you buy a service through the thing. Oh, when my window's done, here's $99, the way that Amazon has the same thing, where you can buy a service, a local service, through Amazon. They have a little, you know, price right there. And then you can rate because there's a trackable transaction.
So are users on, I'm sorry, is it okay if I ask that?
No,
No, please.
So users for your platform, are they going to be able to have access to the contractor's background checks? The business check, that's what it says?
As far as yeah, it just shows up right here.
Okay.
You know, this person here has the perfect score, but you can have perfect score background check, you know, as it go across.
Okay.
And so, you know, like merit badges, you just, once the business wants it, they buy it, apply, whatever they do, it goes on their page.
Okay.
So it's a third party. I did like that about the system. I think it's kind of cool. You know?
So here's my gut reaction to that, and I'm
Sure.
thinking it might be why, because I do work with contractors.
Sure.
So I'm thinking what's happening is, so where your competitors maybe have a background check requirement, those details, that information isn't published, it's behind the scenes.
Yeah.
So it gives an opportunity for a contractor to work with the platform, and maybe they have something in their background. But contracting services, especially for home and business, it's one of the frontiers in America where if something's happened in your life, you made a bad decision, you know, you served time for that, paid your dues, and you want redemption, get back into the workforce, and you can't find a job,
Yeah.
but you're really good at what you do,
Yeah.
this is the frontier where you can make a living for
Right.
yourself and turn things around.
I agree.
And so when you're reaching out to contractors in general, and they all know that because they have friends and colleagues and buddies and, you know, girlfriends, they all know about that, and I could see them thinking, oh man, like that might be the only barrier. Everything else in the system
Yeah.
looks great,
Sure.
and I've been following your work through networking,
Okay.
but I did not know about the background check.
The background check is optional, and I know what you mean.
Yeah.
I get that. Some people may turn them off. Honestly,
Even if
most
it
of the
doesn't,
people,
even if it doesn't affect them, they would
Yeah.
feel like, oh man, that's.
well, they don't have to
you
buy
know.
it. I know they don't have to buy it, and I agree with you that kind of the interaction between the customer and this, I think that it is what it is. I mean, ratings too. They can turn off ratings on their page.
And see, I think too, the mindset with contractors is
Yeah.
it's about the quality of the work I do, the service we provide.
Yeah.
Business check, absolutely,
Yeah.
but personal background,
Well, I mean,
That's,
I think that is a standard in the industry nowadays. I mean, I know that people check my background when they hire me. So if I had a background check that was just posted, I don't think that wouldn't stop me as a contractor, especially me, because I'm perfect, you know,
right.
history. But those are, you're right. You know, if some contractors have a bad history, as long as they pass the background check, they should be fine. And I don't want people to use the platform to screw people, because then that's bad on the platform.
So maybe having, you know, when you decide to move forward,
Yeah.
maybe having, you know, a discussion, like in print, but like an
They
explanation,
have to pass a background check before they even get in.
what it's utilized for and why you're doing that, and just
Sure.
your story of that.
Yeah.
And I think that that'll help people feel like, okay,
Yeah.
it is about the work that we're doing, the
I
craftsmanship.
agree, I thought that was my assumption. My assumption was that it was about the work.
Yeah.
And what I found is that contractors said to their assistant, wife, you do it. Because they didn't want to touch it.
I think the workaround for a lot of sites is that the site itself has a threshold for who they will accept into their marketplace.
Yeah.
And so whatever your standards are for who you will allow to be in there is something that you would set. But what's more important, or I think what makes a contractor on the site feel more comfortable, is that they're being graded against how well they've interacted with their customers during their relationship with your site. So I'm not sure what the grading model is, but if there's a successful transaction and they give them a good review, then this person's a star contractor. And then
I'll just go ahead and show you that, because that's a good question. If I pull up the rating, they get awards instead of stars. Oh, I gotta log in. I'm sorry. But they get awards, they get badges. You're like, yeah, this guy's got a perfect score badge, that kind of thing, like it's a badge. I should have logged in before. I don't remember the guy's name. So. But anyway, yeah. No, I agree that one of the things that another person that I talked to that took a long time to try to dig into the system and try to, tease out what's kind of different and possible was that a local workbook, everything's kind of positive. The idea of positive, like the magnitude of positive is what we're showing. If a contractor can good work and show it, then he has 1 degree of magnitude of positive. If they have background checks, these kind of things, another magnitude of positive. And the reviews and stuff like that, another magnitude of positive. So it's not about bad reviews. I mean, their badge is outside of their hands. Like if they get a bad review, it doesn't change the fact that they can lose a badge. But the reviews is in their hands. They can, choose to publish or not to publish. Yeah, sure.
But there's a problem with that. I don't, really like the reviews, especially if you can control it.
Yeah.
Because if I'm the contractor, I can just erase the bad reviews and I'll look pretty good on that.
And we show that there's a review erased. There's a number, so there's missing reviews.
Okay.
That's it.
But why don't you show the review itself so I know?
And this was an issue. Yelp, the Yelp business model is have all the little minions out there posting bad reviews, and then they send you a message saying pay us $500 and we'll help you with the reviews. So it really is an extortion rate. Technically, no matter how you cut it, it's extortion racket. These
Correct.
people are paying for this thing.
But see, you can have your reviews. You can have the reviews by only people that paid through the system. You can
You
do a
cannot
verified.
No, this is the way that it works is that if there's a trackable transaction, either the people have friended each other, or if they have gone through the process of the negotiation, the quote.
Okay.
If they accept the quote that the contractor has given that person can then review. Any random person can't review a contractor. And again, it goes back to, and that was a problem too, to be honest.
Then it
really is a
prevents the
problem.
Yelp concept though. So
What's that?
because if you have connection between the contractor and the client, possible client,
Yeah, possible.
then you have a connection there. So anybody from Yelp should not be able to come and
That's right, and we don't.
do it.
They didn't.
So
And it's a
there's
little
no
bit.
need
It's a
to
little bit
raise.
safer for the contractor. Again, it's a magnitude of positive the contractor can amass to himself without having screwed people over. Because even in the certain terms of service, if I get a complaint, this dude stole all my stuff, did something to my family, they're out, and it says that, But bar that, if they get these badges, then they can just try to make it on their own. Yeah.
And if the contractor gets a review,
Yeah.
can whether they did a good or bad, say they did a bad job, the person's upset about it?
Yeah.
Can the contractor reply to that?
Yeah.
Okay, on there saying, well, this is
The
what
way-
happened,
The
so
way
they
that the
can
review,
explain it.
when it gets a little technical down to nitty gritty.
Yeah, yeah.
The way it works is that the review works, what did the contractor do that you liked? What did the contractor, do that you could, how can the contractor get a better review? Give us and state the overall experience. So hopefully the contractor will listen to what the customer has to say, which is notoriously impossible in contracting. They don't listen, yeah.
The name is Local Workbook.
Yep.
Is there some way to kind of brand yourself as good work? Or, in other words,
Awesome
point
work.
out the positives?
Yeah.
So that when people go to the website, they're seeing craftsmanship. They're seeing, in other words, you kind of honor craftsmanship.
Yeah.
This is the place where the good craftsmen come,
Yeah.
and that's what we have. And them just being here, in other words, it's like when you see a car commercial, they don't show you the mechanics of the car.
Yeah,
It's all about perception. They show you feel good.
yeah,
So if people feel good coming to your website, they're gonna feel that only craftsmen come to your website. And that's kind of the thing you're pushing
yeah.
to where, again, you're not looking at the background because somebody did something bad a long time ago. I think if you just kind of almost ignore it,
Yeah,
people will forget about it.
Right.
And just focus on,
yeah,
this is the craftsmanship, whatever.
yeah.
Are you using a craftsman? I don't know if you
I
can
like
use that
I
word
like-
because it's
I like
been,
what you're saying.
Sears has used it, but that aura, that feeling.
I kind of do a little bit of contracting work. I work with customers every day, and one of the things that I've learned in this business is dealing with contractors and customers. Every contractor has a different view of how they should treat a customer.
Yeah.
And a lot of times I talk to my customer after, and ask them how we did, and, a little bit of advice, because I like to learn about the customer interaction and what I can do to make myself better. And I hear that the number one problem with contractors is, like you said, they don't listen or they never show up.
Yeah.
And they don't keep appointments. They don't really care. And I don't know. Like, to me, if I miss an appointment, I feel bad. Like I want to apologize. But some people contractors just don't care. And with Angie's List, and I'm familiar with Home Advisor and Thumbtack and all the
Yeah,
other
Thumbtack,
lead
yeah.
generation systems. If you could integrate a questionnaire and make it like a dating site for
Yeah.
a
Like
client,
what's important to the
what's
customer,
important to you,
what's important to the
and then
contractor.
take a questionnaire, like a 50-question questionnaire or whatever.
Yeah.
Like, when I go to a house, I automatically take my shoes off.
Yeah.
Automatically. I don't care if there's dog poop on the carpet. I take my shoes off because I don't wear shoes in my house. And that goes a long way with them. So just small things like that, believe it or not, really goes a long way with a customer. And if you can figure out how to link up a contractor that has the same views and just the same kind of mindset, I think that would probably work.
I like that idea. My thought is that I've noticed that customers want to get straight to the contractor now. Like they want to go straight. Want to cut past everything.
If you do that and then afterwards have the questionnaire, like, hey, how do we do it? How can we make things better? And
For
then
you,
take
and then,
that data and try to.
I definitely think that that's an idea. I'm throwing this out to the group, that what this gentleman here said, trying to focus on the craftsmanship, almost like I said, the specialty services is really what I was thinking might kind of work, because you don't have to have a lot of specialties on a website.
Yeah.
Whereas if you have one contractor in one area, it's dead. I mean, no one's gonna,
Well,
but if you have one specialty, hey, I'm doing this tiki thing, or I'm doing these special lighting, or like I said, some kind of tree, tree sculptures, shoot, where else can you go to see that in Hampton Roads?
But
There
who would
is
go,
nowhere else.
yeah, who would go search that if only one person is doing it? Because like
So
what I do is
you
very visual.
advertise.
It's very visual.
Yeah.
Like, people don't go online to Google and search what I do. They have to see a picture
Yeah.
or see it in person.
What is it that you do?
I do a lot of like salvage woodworking and, you know, custom furniture and stuff like that.
That's
So it's a
awesome.
very visual thing. So I'm really interested in this whole thing.
Okay.
Because my problem is because I'm so unique at what I do,
Yeah.
it's really hard to classify what I am.
Yeah, and what I would say to you is that it's the networking effect. If I
Yes.
have several different pretty good craftsmen
Yeah.
that are generally an idea, oh yeah, you can't see this somewhere else, you wouldn't even
Yeah.
look anywhere else, then this could become the place where you would come to look. And what he was saying is that if it has an air of, you know, kind of like that respectability, then that would benefit you, because everybody else that has a specialty would also benefit you, because they wouldn't even know to look, but then when they see your product, they could say, I like that, I would like to negotiate with you. But then when they do negotiate with you, they can't negotiate with the next guy that's doing a similar thing that you're doing. And then that would give you the incentive to actually speak to this customer, rather than just, you know, he's just looking for a price. Yeah. I haven't talked to you.
Well, to that, why would I as a customer want to remove my ability to negotiate with different contractors? What incentive is there for me? What do I get
The
from,
incentive,
say, giving up my?
That's a great question, and the answer, and the best answer I can say is that you know how long it takes for this contractor to get back to you. The contractor has set a time, whether it be 1 hour or 10 days. You know before you go into this exclusive negotiation process through that thing, how long you're held. And again, it does go back to the idea of, you know, doing business friendly, or, you know, like with respect. You know, the idea is when you say, hey, I'd like to talk to you about something you're doing, you know, you're gonna give that guy at least 3 hours to respond. And then you can choose at that point to, like, you know, to accept his response, or just say, no thanks, maybe another time, go somewhere else.
See, I would rather just go
And
shotgun blast to everybody on
To everyone
there.
down
Whoever
there.
gets back to me must care enough about my business to get back to me.
that's,
Comparison
Home
shop
Advisor
across
is
the-
exactly that,
Yeah, so,
They
so
shotgun blast you
that brings me to my real question,
Yeah.
which is, what hole in the market is this trying to fill?
Right.
Because you've got Angie's List, you've got Home Advisor, you've got, you know, all the other options to find contractors. What hole is this trying to fill?
And the answer is, it really doesn't, it's not different enough from Home Advisor to be different than Home Advisor at this point. If I did go to specialties, and that would be the hole. Specialties that no one would think to look for, that no one would ask at a gate. I want specialty woodwork. You know, then the thing comes to him. You know, it wouldn't happen. Where here you can kind of browse. So that would be, that's my only answer, is it's not different. I messed up. And I'm not giving enough to the customer that makes the contractor wanna.
I think it is different because it's contractor centered.
Yeah.
So the relationship that's being put together has the contractor in mind, rather than the shotgun method where a customer gets on there and can shoot it out and, you know, get quotes back and haggle and say, oh, well, this person said they could do it for this. And
Right.
so it's contractor based, but for the front end user, the customer doesn't realize that, or doesn't see the benefit in that. So
Yeah.
the difference is, you know, maybe that's the conversation that you have with the contractor, like, hey, this isn't your typical 30 emails an hour about people that will never materialize. These are people that are looking at bids one by one, and you
Yeah.
have a certain time frame. So,
Yeah.
I mean, that just might be the
And honestly, in my life, the way I do it is I do talk to one. And I don't talk to two at the same time. I wanna get this guy's response. For me, I'm not opposed to the Home Advisor. I just think it sucks that they had to pay, you know, just to get that lead. I don't take them.
I think what he said is, in branding,
Branding,
It
yeah,
really
the-
is.
Getting
That's
a
gonna
little
change
bit
it.
away
And
from the
marketing.
Home Advisor,
right, marketing,
away
how
from
you market
mainstream
yourself.
contracting.
Picture the commercial.
Sure,
Okay, you see the commercials on the air all the time.
yeah.
What is your commercial?
Right.
See, just picture that and claim it. You know, raise the bar. Now, you know, some people might not think that they are that,
Yeah.
but a lot of people that do good work do think that they are that. And they wanna, because you're basically branding them.
Yeah.
You're making them feel, the contractor feel good about themselves.
Yeah.
And feel good draws and attracts people.
Yeah.
Well, one other quick thing is,
Sure.
why be one of these? Why not aggregate all of them?
Why, what? What is it?
Well, look at travel,
Yeah.
okay? You got what? Kayak, Travelocity.
Yeah.
They're aggregate, look at independent insurance agents.
Right.
Okay, they're aggregating all the other people's hard work
Yeah.
and saying,
Oh,
you see what I'm saying?
Google
I mean,
Plus
you
kinda
gotta have
does
deep
that
pockets to
little
do
thing.
it.
Google
but-
Plus, if you go to Google Plus and you should take a look at that, they pull all the free stuff that they have online about that company on Google Plus. The Yelp reviews, the this, the that, anything that they can get about that company goes on a Google Plus, so they can, so Google
Well,
Plus
I'm
is
talking
already kinda
aggregate
aggregated.
Angie's List, aggregate.
Yeah, they don't, that's not, that can't work, no. Doesn't work. You can't get Angie's List database. They won't give it to you. They won't give you, I mean, Home Advisor is an individual ask, you know, it's an individual, you know, action response thing. You can't aggregate that. And this is something that, you know, hopefully has a niche where you can, kind of like you said, brand it.
Yeah.
But yeah, getting Angie's List is not gonna work, no. They don't do it, yeah.
One of the things I don't know if you shop on Amazon, I do a lot, and a lot of people do. And the key is, especially with Prime, there is guarantee of a bigger company than the seller. The sellers are actually, most of them are a warehouse in Brooklyn or in the middle of nowhere, or some in China. But if that product is bad, Amazon guarantees that it's gonna be good.
Right.
See,
I
now
would
you're,
like to, I'd like to have that here. It could be a background check.
well, not only background check, I think you should go one step further.
Okay.
I think you should go interview with them,
Sure.
meet them,
Yeah.
and say that this guy is good. I mean, you're a contractor, I assume.
Sure.
So you know good work. So when somebody comes over and does a bad job, or you know, you can interview them, you can interview their past customers. Let's say you have a 2-month period of their, you know, testing period, let's say, and in that period, you call their customers one by one, and you do it yourself.
Yeah.
Now you can do this in
Yeah,
Hampton
it
Roads, and
costs so
then
much money.
if you grow big,
Yeah.
then you can hire two people to do that.
Sure.
But if you see some of the jobs, then you can stand behind that company,
Yeah.
and you know that they're going to deliver a good job through your website. That's the only way to do that.
I get what you're saying, and I feel like the more I try to like interact with these people, the more at the beginning, the more I'm becoming like Andrew Rhodes Pro to Go, where they have to pay more, and then I do all this effort for them. Why not build their page for them? Because they won't do it on their own. So then it just becomes Hampton Roads Pro to Go. And Pro to Go, by the way, did not do well. I mean, you see their ads all the time on Cox, and they're advertised like crazy. But if you actually go there, it's a ghost town. It's sad. Yeah.
My point relates to that. So we built so this is what I call a community website. It's
Yeah.
relying on, you have to have enough contractors and enough users to make this work.
That's right.
We have a website that's very similar with that with off-roading, but it's based on trails. So like our trails would be your contractors. And in the beginning, nobody's gonna come because there's nothing there. And you do have to put in the work. I had to
Yeah,
sit there and load trails, and you'll get people that adopt it early, and then you just have them help push it. But that was my advice, is you're gonna, how you said you contacted 60 contractors who said they were gonna do it and they don't. In the beginning, you might have to set everything up for them until it gets to a point where you have enough contractors, enough users that contractors want to come.
Yeah.
So now we're at the point where we don't have to add trails anymore, and the users do it themselves because this is where everybody is.
Yeah.
But in the beginning, they're not gonna come and they're not gonna take the time because if there's only 3 or 4 contractors.
Yeah.
So that's something you have to think about when you're building a community-based site, is in the beginning, it is gonna be a lot of
Yeah.
work on your end. Now, you can charge them for that, that's
Right.
up to you.
I would say that the only way that I would be willing to put in any work whatsoever is if they are doing specialty work. Because just the next contractor down the road that may or may not be doing contracting for the next 2 years, I don't want to, not my idea of a good time. But I know what you're saying. I appreciate what you just said, and it went to my heart. The truth is that just like they had in that movie, The Founder, you know, persistence beats intelligence. Persistent beats anything. And what you did, you know, you got to see it work, and that's just a real blessing. So, hey, I agree. If I were to do something different, I would have to commit my back and do what you said. Yeah.
So focus on your specialty, then stay focused
Yeah.
on the specialty track and let that be what you go after.
Right.
So that you can find those specialty contractors and then do the work and then start building. So that just makes sense.
Yeah, I mean, does anybody think that the specialty idea is, because I don't actually know, I mean, seems good to me, but does that make sense to you guys, that if you want to go to a website that has specialties?
Horrible, I think it's bad.
It's really
How many
hard.
tiki bars people need, the more specialist you are, the lower market share you're gonna take.
Yeah.
How are you gonna compete with two publicly traded companies and take market share?
Are you asking about Amazon or something like that, or?
Angie's List and HomeAdvisor are both publicly traded,
Yeah,
so they have deep pockets,
Yeah.
cheap capital.
yeah,
They're running TV ads all the time. I don't even watch TV, and I've seen their shit.
yeah.
How are you gonna take market share from them if you're not even different?
I'm
If
not-
you have to explain your business model why you're different,
Yeah.
you'll never gain market share.
I agree. You know,
I've never told anyone this, but you should get a different business model.
Right,
Because, I mean, if you want the truth of it, you'll never pick up market share from HomeAdvisor. They're a $3.5 billion company. They have deep pockets, they're probably borrowing money at 4 or 5%. They can run the shit out of commercials.
yeah,
If you're not getting brand recognition, and a tiki bar or specialty wood, you have no chance in hell. And if you're going back to, you know, background checks, you might become liable. If you say this, I'm suing a bunch of contractors now for a failed project that I won 2014 most efficient house in Virginia. But now I'm suing all the contractors because the damn house is falling over.
right.
If you got caught in the middle of that, you'd be tied to this lawsuit, just like the rest of them. So if you're not using a third-party vendor to do your background checks.
Yeah, I do use for a third-party vendor.
So who's incurring that cost of that vendor?
Again, the contractor pays to have it posted on their site.
But compared to, if I'm a contractor, why would I go to your site if I have Angie's List or whoever feeding me leads?
Yeah.
Why would I sign up for you? And as far as I'm concerned, if you're not a drunk or on drugs, you would never be a roofer, so I don't expect a roofer not to be on drunk or drugs.
I would
And if
expect
need
to have
a roof
roofers
done-
with background checks.
Yeah.
I would expect this, sir. I would say, the vision I had was that there would be like a kid-friendly contract, you know, stuff that was really, really intricate, that was very deep, and there would be a whole other system inside of it. You know, I was thinking that was a possibility. That's why I had my very first, and the only one, is the real estate agent perfect score, which means a real estate agent is used as contractor, and until a real estate agent has a bad experience, that perfect score can stay there. That was the only one I was actually willing to sell.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? But I agree with you that I might need to get a whole other thing, that I jumped in the wrong Shark Tank.
Yeah, I mean, as long as you learn from it, you didn't really lose anything, and you're not deep enough where you're gonna get hurt, but
Yeah.
in the future, how are you gonna gain market share? You need
Yeah.
a distribution model.
Well, okay, so to answer that question, mine's regional. Anything that happens in Hampton Roads, I can focus right here. I'm not focusing anywhere else.
But how? How are you gonna take market share from home?
Well,
Home-
he's not really trying to compete with HomeAdvisor.
Yeah,
on the regional level.
If I'm focusing on real estate agents and their contractors, I'm not competing with HomeAdvisor. Because I'm not.
But you said you don't have a different business model.
I don't because, well, theirs is so different than mine. Theirs is the pay-to-play model I just said. Somebody asks at the gate, they sell the lead to 5 different contractors. That is their business model. They don't care about background checks. All the reason why they give it to them is because they want to not be screwed. But to them, background checks are meaningless. The only thing that matters to them is the ask at the gate. And any way they can get customers to ask at their gate, that's what they're going to do. And that's the same thing with Thumbtack. It's another big one.
All right, last question, Bill.
Yeah, I spoke to a guy last year who wanted my opinion on the very same thing.
Sure.
And I won't mention his name because it's a well-known local name. He spent $40,000 and even had his own app to do exactly what you want to do. and finally, after pissing away 40,000, threw the towel and said, to hell with it.
Yeah.
You cannot go, and the comments are right, you cannot go against Angie's List or Thumbtack, they'll crush you.
Yeah.
They absolutely will crush you.
Yeah.
So, and I don't think doing a tiki bar is anywhere near of a specialty, because they can actually put something on their website and instantly crush you with that idea.
Yeah.
You know, well, specialty tiki bar, boom, and you're out.
Angie's List, okay. I'd like to believe that those big giants are, you know, Walmart was crushed by Amazon. If I had the right idea, if it turned out just right, sure, I could do my thing if it worked within the little community that I could work with, you know, start small, hedgehog strategy. But yeah, I can't go up against Angie's List and, you know, them right now. And I wasn't even trying. I was, in fact, just trying to focus on the real estate agent and their contractors. And it didn't work. And if I had to go up against those guys, there's no way I could win. So regional, I thought, was the only way you can kind of get a little bit of market share. Because if it's just regional, if they're just doing this thing, then that makes sense. Hey, get a few, get some interaction, get some growth. So.
All right, last question. What can 1 million cups do for you?
No, you guys did it, honestly. You guys sat and listened to what I had to say. I got to hear myself talk. I got to hear what you had to say and what this gentleman back here had to say. The hard stuff, the good stuff, the possibilities. I mean, honestly, if you have, someone has a product that they can sell that no one would even think to look for it, maybe there should be something like that. But if I can't make it as a platform host, then maybe, you know. So I'll leave it there. Thank you guys so much.
Thank you. Here's a coffee cup for all your future excitements and adventures.
1 million cups. Nice, thank you.